Hello everyone and welcome back to Mariana Math Books. My name is Mariana and today I am here with a commentary video on the long list for the Booktube prize, specifically about the non-fiction long list, since this year I am participating in judging the Booktube prize or judging for the Booktube prize, specifically in the non-fiction category. I'm not going to react to the entire long list. I am just going to comment on my opinions, on what I thought about some of the books, some of the books that I'm the most excited about, some of the ones that I'm the least excited about, etc. Firstly, for anyone who doesn't know what the Booktube prize is, the Booktube prize is a book prize that is organized within the Booktube community. So it is not a formal prize in the sense that it is not organized by a special academia or a special organization or anything. It is entirely run by, organized, judged. Everything happens within the Booktube community. So the Booktube prize was created, to my understanding, 4 years ago by Robert at the channel Barter Hordes. I will of course link everything that I mentioned in the description down below. He was the one who started the Booktube prize, and he has been talking about how when he started they only had a fiction category and they had very few judges, and currently there are I think over 300 judges from all over the world, and there is going to be a fiction category and non-fiction category and a translated fiction category, which is a new category or division that they added this year. The Booktube prize is a kind of like a choice awards book prize. What do I mean by choice awards? Sort of like these awards that you see for movies or for television that are not given by a panel of experts but by the general public, where the general public can vote for their favorite movies, television, etc. And so the awards are an award given by popular demand or by a specific community. In this case, the awards are the Booktube Choice Awards, let's put it like that way. Anyone within the Booktube community, meaning people who have Booktube channels, who watch Booktube channels, are in any way related to the Booktube community, can sign up to be judges. In the end, the winners and the semi-finalists and everything are chosen by all of the booktubers or the Booktube watchers who signed up to be judges. So I am participating this year, I am judging this year, not because I am an expert in literature or in publishing by any means, but because I am a part of the Booktube community and I wanted to participate, and therefore I signed up to be a judge. If you can keep it in your radar and sign up for next year's prize. The first round of the prize, let's put it that way, was a vote where Robert at Barter Hordes, who is the organizer of the event, sent all of us who signed up to judge a list of a lot of books. I don't remember how many books there were, and from those books we had to send him our votes of the 20 books that we would most like to see make the long list. And so the first round were those votes. We all voted for 20 books, and yesterday Robert announced which books made it into the long list for each division: fiction, non-fiction, and translated fiction. As I mentioned, I am going to be judging. I signed up for the non-fiction division, so I am going to be commenting on the long list for the non-fiction non-fiction division. The long list consists of 48 books, 48 books for fiction, 48 for non-fiction, and 48 for translated fiction. Those are then piled into groups. So there are, I think there are 8 groups of 6 books, and then those are the octafinal rounds, and then each judge gets a group, and you read the 6 books for that group, and it goes, you send your votes, and then you get the quarterfinals, and then the semifinals, and so on and so on. So today I am going to be commenting on the 48 books for the octafinals round of the non-fiction division. The first thing that I'm going to comment on is that from the 19 books I voted for, we could vote up to a maximum of 20, but we could vote for less if we wanted to. So I sent 19 votes. I voted for 19 books. From those 19 books that I sent, 13 made the actual long list, which means that there were 6 books that didn't make the long list, which I'm kind of bummed about, because I am not going to lie, those were not all of them, but a lot of the ones that were in those 6 books were the ones that I was most excited about. Basically all of the ones that I voted for that did not make the list were the ones that were related to art or culture or pop culture or within that realm. Most people seem to have voted either for social issues, social justice issues, racial issues, or science topics. Those were the ones that ended up in the non-fiction list. I am not going to read to you or mention the entire long list. I am going to link down below the announcement for the long list and a link with a PDF where you can see a checklist for the long list for each division. If you are curious and you want to see all of the books that made it into the long list. But yeah, so I do want to talk about the books that I voted for that did not make the long list, because I was very excited for them. Some of them I actually think I do still want to read, even if they did not make the long list. But yeah, so the 6 books I had voted for that did not make the list were New Yorkers, A City and Its People in Our Time by Craig Taylor. I love New York. I love the title of this book. I love the cover of this book. And yeah, this was one of the ones I voted for that did not make the long list. Then Francis Bacon, Revelations by Mark Stevens and Annalyn Swan. And I am not particularly a fan of Francis Bacon, but I love artist biographies, so that one seemed very interesting to me. Sadly, it did not make the long list. Then, and this is the one I was most excited for from the entire list, and I am so bummed that it did not make the long list, but I would still want to get to it at some point. And it is Plunder, Napoleon's Theft of Veronese's Feast by Cynthia Saltzman. This is a book that I had actually seen on Jennifer Brooks' channel. She has mentioned it. I don't remember if in TBR videos or anticipated releases videos or hauls, maybe in a book haul, but I had it on my wish list ever since I saw Jennifer talk about it, and I'm so bummed that it did not make the final long list. Then this is another one that I really wanted to read, and that I might get to eventually, even if it didn't make the long list, and it is an essay collection called Why Didn't You Just Do What You Were Told by Jenny Diski. Then a memoir, a celebrity memoir, and I guess I understand why this didn't end up on the long list, because people seem to dislike celebrity memoirs. I, on the contrary, really like celebrity memoirs, and this is Walking with Ghosts by Gabriel Byrne, and I was super excited to read this one on audiobook because Gabriel Byrne is Irish and he narrates the book himself. I love the Irish accent and I was looking forward to that. Also, something interesting that I saw, and this is neither here nor there, but from one of the books that did end up making the long list, which is a memoir by an Irish writer, and it is called A Ghost in the Throat. And I just thought it was funny that the two Irish books that were in the long list had ghost in the title. So this memoir is called Walking with Ghosts, and the other memoir is called A Ghost in the Throat. I don't know if it says something culturally. I have always had the impression that both Scotland and Ireland are very magical places, with tons of folklore and mythology, and I don't know, I guess the fact that both books have ghosts in the title is somewhat representative of that, or maybe it's just me falling into a stereotype and I'm sorry for that. Finally, the final book that I voted for that didn't make the long list is more of a pop culture type book, and it was Shooting Midnight Cowboy, Art, Sex, Loneliness, Liberation, and the Making of a Dark Classic by Glenn Frankel. So those were the 6 books that I voted for that did not make the long list. From the books that did make the long list, the book that I'm most excited to read is, and just as a clarification, the books that I'm going to mention as the ones that I'm most excited about or least excited about, etc., they have nothing to do with the group that I am going to be judging for. This is just like in general, I would be excited to read them at any point during the year, whether it's this round or next rounds. Just in general, I am excited for those books, and I hope that in any round that I participate in, I will get to read some of these or any of the books that I talk about. Just as a clarification. And yeah, so from the entire 48 book long list, the book that I'm most excited about is The Enlightenment, The Pursuit of Happiness, 1680 to 1790 by Ritchie Robertson, and this is also my favorite cover of all of the 48 books. The title, the theme, the fact that it's almost 1,000 pages, and the cover, all of those elements combined make it my most anticipated read for the Booktube prize if I get to read that one. Fingers crossed. Other books I'm excited about are A Ghost in the Throat by Doireann. I'm sorry guys, I was having a hard time with the pronunciation of her name. I think it's pronounced Ghríofa. And then These Precious Days, essays by Patchet. As you know, I love reading essays, so those I'm excited. And other essay collection that looks very good is White Magic, essays by Elissa Washuta. And finally, the other one I'm also excited about is Empire of Pain, The Secret History of the Sackler Dynasty by Patrick Radden Keefe. Then I wanted to talk about the book I'm most curious about, or the one that intrigues me the most. This is the book that when I saw the title, I voted for this one, and I'm not sure exactly what it's going to be about. I kind of have an idea based on the title and the synopsis, but it just looks super interesting, super intriguing, and I'm just very, very curious, and I would love also to get it in any of the rounds so I could read it. And it is All That She Carried, The Journey of Ashley Sack, A Black Family Keepsake by Tia Miles. Yeah, as I said, that's the one I'm most curious or intrigued by. Okay, so finally I want to talk about the books I am least looking forward to, and I am truly, honestly least looking forward to them. I really don't want to read this, either of these two, and the first one maybe will be a surprise because I think it's a bit of a booktube darling and it's super hyped and everyone is reading it and loving it, which I guess is part of the reason why I don't want to read it, and that is Crying in H. Mart by Michelle Sauner. Any book that is described as talking about grief or an exploration on grief, on anything that has to do with grief, automatically goes to my anti-TBR pile. You know those buzzwords people talk about, where these words that when you hear them you automatically add a book to your TBR. This is the opposite. Whenever I hear grief mentioned, whether it's fiction or non-fiction, I don't want to read it. Just like zero interest whatsoever. And that added to the fact that it has so much hype. No. Yeah, no. And the other one is Somebody's Daughter by Ashley C. Ford, and I have seen a lot of people excited about this one. I just, from the cover alone, that's one book that I would never in a million years have chosen for myself. It has a very literary fiction-y cover. I know this is non-fiction, I know this is memoir, but the cover gives me literary fiction vibes. This is a cover that a novel that I would not want to read would have. So since the cover, it didn't speak to me. And then if you read the synopsis, it's also very much like grief, sadness, that type of thing. I don't get why all memoirs have to be sad. I don't understand it. I mean, I guess I understand it from the writer's point of view, because when you are sad, it gives you a lot of material to explore. But as a reader, I'm like, please, can we have memoirs that are about something that is not grief? Thank you very much. I don't know. Anyway, so I guess this would be my commentary for the long list for the Booktube prize. As I said, I'm going to link the Octafinals announcement video if you want to watch it, or if you just want to read the list of books, I'm going to link the PDF where you can see the entire long list for all three divisions. That would be it for the moment. As I mentioned before, we are not allowed to talk about which books we are reading, so I won't be talking about which books I'm reading for specific rounds until after each round is over. I am only speaking as of now. I don't know what will happen in the future. The Booktube prize is a random thing, so you can sign up and maybe you don't get anything to judge, so who knows how many rounds I will participate in, or how many rounds I will get to judge in, or which books I will get, how many books, etc. Who knows what the future holds for me in terms of the Booktube prize. I am super excited to be participating. This is my first year, as I said, and yeah, that would be all. I just wanted to do a commentary video to get in on the fun. I will talk to you on a bookish video next Sunday, next Thursday, next Tuesday, who knows? I don't know what the future holds for me just in general. My life is kind of a mess right now, so I don't know, but I want to get this video up, and after this I don't know where the wind will take me, but I will talk to you in the future on another bookish video, and in the meantime I wish you, of course, happy reading.